Good night, good night. How everyone doing tonight? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J. Spiritual Vine. I'm going to give you a short news on tonight. Now, y'all remember Charity? Charity Hospital? I know we all probably had children. I know I had my children at Charity. I know a lot of people had their children at Charity. Charity is a history place. We had our children there. Our children had their children there. Charity was a great hospital. They had great doctors there. But it's been abandoned. Since after Katrina, that's been like 17 years ago. So abandoned New Orleans, Louisiana, Old Charity Hospital. It shows signs that it can come back alive now. So Charity Hospital had been sitting since 17 years after Katrina. They have redevelopment came forward. There are signs of life. So now I need to check it out. It can still have a future of Charity Hospital again. So now Charity, our history. They're a history. Been there for decades. So what we've been knowing since we was a child. Our parent had us at charity. We had our children at charity. The children having their children at charity. It go on and on with a list. No matter how long the process was, charity had some good doctors there at charity. Saved many lives. You go there, you don't know what's wrong. The doctors they can find out what was wrong with you. So Tulane hope to move into the building in 2025. You know, because 20 years after it closed. So Winstone show us the future of the old Charity Hospital is still sitting empty. It's still sitting empty, and I would love for Charity to come back to life. That's all we know about Charity. Charity has some good doctors there. So they've been sitting there for 17 years. You know, time there's something different happening inside and outside. Old Charity is an icon. Charity Hospital. So it served the community for centuries. That's what I was just saying. It served all us. As the city safety, Net Hospital saving hundreds, a thousand of lives and training the thousands of doctors and nurses. Until the levee had broken, Hurricane Katrina. So it trapped roughly 360 patients and 1,200 staff members inside the charity without power. But it will be 5 days before they was rescued, and weeks later, a team of volunteer contractors in the military cleaned out. They cleaned out charity. They cleaned out the lower floors to get the hospital medical ready, but it will never have reopened. you know, because they had like for Katrina, like some of us was at the dome. They had some people at charity, you know, and so after all that was done, they cleaned it up, thinking they was gonna come back and be ready for service, but it never had reopened. General Russell, he honored and famously said that the big brain at LSU put on put on the brakes, hoping to get FEMA to pay for the complete replacement of the hospital. So they was going they pumped their brakes on it, because they thought FEMA was gonna pay the complete of charity replacement of charity. But funds never came forward, and charity has been sitting there empty and abandoned. So the process would take 5 years now, of $475 million. You know, um, $1.2 billion had went towards University Medical Center. So they came forward and got university up and running. You know, but charity stood abandoned. And no one never came forward to help bring charity back to life. So 17 years old charity has sat empty, but today, there are signs of life. as part of $600 million plan. So Tulane Downtown Medical School, we're bringing it back. Respectfully, it's history. But really looking forward to the future of New Orleans. So the space developer Joseph, team is they're taking on the project. So one, Charity Hospital had been sitting there for 17 years after Katrina. Two, there is light at the tunnel. They see a future for charity to reopen. Three, development all coming forward. The first one is Tulane, development. And then you got four. So I would love for charity to reopen. It was history. I, I remember when I had both of mine there. So five. We all had our children at Charity Hospital. No matter how long we had to wait, there was good doctors there. Good doctors there. So I would love to see charity reopen back up. It's a history hospital. You know, we all can still talk about the times that we had at Charity Hospital. The doctor saved many lives there. Many lives. They can catch on everything quick. When you go down, you don't know what's wrong. They had doctors, professional doctors that can tell you what's the matter, what's wrong, can catch anything after they just had to have good doctors there. And so we would love to see charity open back up. You know, and if they do take on this project, it's not gonna come to full play until like 2025. It's gonna take 5 years. So we talked about Charity Hospital being abandoned and empty. We know after Katrina they cleaned the bottoms, the lower floors. Thinking it was gonna come back and so medical and get good. They still had people there. Sick, still needed care. But they did not reopen back up. But now today they look they look at the inside, the outside. There's a future. For charity to be reopened. It's costs money, but they have developments coming forward. Coming forward. For with money to help bring charity back to life. So they have many development coming forward. And that's good. Because everybody wants to see charity come back. I know I pass that all the time. I'm like, man, y'all looking at charity. So it's still in good condition to be remodeled. So that's a good thing. The structure it didn't tear apart. You know, so that's all the show news I have for y'all today. And y'all have a blessed night, and I see y'all in the next video.